What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be breaking down and reviewing WandaVision episode 7. Now this is going to be a spoiler warning right now. If you haven't seen it, please click out of the video because we're going to be getting into what happened in episode 7. And also, if you like the video, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, but let's get into it. So it opens up with a very Modern Family / Office opening. Even the music in the actual opening credits remind me very much of The Office. It's very, very similar. And you can see things start to glitch or break down. You see the twins' video game controller start to glitch out. The milk that Wanda uses for her cereal constantly changes and glitches out. You see furniture later on the episode glitch out. So it's very clear that her grasp on this world is slowly fading. We then cut to Vision, who awakens on the ground. So if you don't remember from last episode, Wanda expanded the perimeter of the Hex to save Vision before he's almost about to die. We then cut to this episode where Vision wakes up and he sees the whole circus of what was the Sword Staff, who have now been converted into circus staff. He then sees Darcy, who was turned into an escape artist, and he's constantly trying to ask her, do you remember our exchange, from last night or whatever it was, when Vision broke out of the Hex, and he eventually taps her temples to free her mind. Throughout the episode, Vision and Darcy have a conversation, and Darcy's basically just filling him in on the events that took place, from Age of Ultron all the way through to Infinity War and Endgame, where his AI has come from Jarvis, and it was sort of based on Ultron, who was this genocidal robot, and he asks who he is and all that sort of stuff. So he's just sort of being filled in because he doesn't remember a thing from his life outside of starting in the Hex. So she's just kind of filling that in for him. And we also see that Agnes takes on the twins to give Wanda a break. Now, when she took the kids, I got this really weird Hansel and Gretel vibe, and we see later on the episode why that is, but we'll get into that in a second. We then cut back to Jimmy and Monica, who have received an email from Darcy, I'm assuming obviously before she got picked up in the Hex, that she actually managed to crack the firewall that she was talking about in the last episode of Tyler Hayward. In that email, it says that they weren't trying to decommission Vision, they were trying to bring him back, and Hayward was obviously trying to get Vision to be his sentient weapon, which is why, and it explains why Hayward is actually trying to track Vision in the Hex. Rather than tracking Wanda, he wants his sentient weapon back. Now, Monica gets that vehicle that we've been told about from the aerospace engineer. However, we're not told who that aerospace engineer is. They did say that this rover was the most advanced space rover. Might be another Easter egg to the Fantastic Four, given that it's sort of space and cosmic. I don't know, but I didn't think they were going to reveal. People were messaging me saying that, they're going to reveal John Krasinski as Reed Richards in this episode. I'm like, no way. Maybe in the last episode, to fill up that whole Luke Skywalker level cameo at the end. But I don't know, I can't see them revealing such a big reveal in a show that not every MCU fan is watching. We then cut back into the Hex where Wanda's having that style of interview interaction with the camera, that fourth wall sort of thing, like you see in The Office and Modern Family. And she was talking about how she can't control things and she can't fix things that are glitching out. The person behind the camera, who we later find out to be Agatha, says, maybe you deserve it. So I'm not sure why Agatha thinks she deserves it, and that's revealed later on, but I'm not sure how Wanda has impacted Agatha to the point where Agatha is now out to get Wanda. Anyway, once Wanda's confused, it then cuts to a drug commercial called Nexus. Now, Nexus is basically another word for connection between two things. In this ad, it talks about how a doctor will only prescribe this to you if you're ready to move on, and that you can pick your own reality or bring you back to reality. So I think this is just an ad from Wanda's sort of subconscious to say, okay, I think it's time that you move on and get back to reality. It's also very clear that she's depressed from what happened in Endgame. And as we've all been saying, well, I've been saying throughout the whole series of this video series, it's some kind of depression or PTSD response to what's happened, and these ads are just sort of fueling that. I think she's also coming to terms that the world moves on, and I think it's about time that she does too. It's also very clear because she's running out of ages for sitcoms, so probably next week you're going to be up to modern sitcoms, and then there's nowhere else for her to go. So it's very clear that they've made their sort of journey to the end of sitcom era, so they kind of have to get her to break it down, otherwise there's nowhere left to go. Back to Agnes and the twins, Billy tells Agnes that she is very quiet on the inside. With his abilities, he can sort of hear people and all that sort of stuff, but again, it's another hint that Agnes isn't really the person that she says she is. We're told that she's very quiet on the inside, and he likes it because all he's complained about throughout the episode is how noisy everything is in his head. It's just a big hint that she isn't like everyone else in this reality, and that is later revealed. Cutting back to Monica outside of the Hex, we see her gearing up into a white suit, which is very much like her suit as Photon in the Marvel comics. She gets in the vehicle from her aerospace engineer friend, and she tries to drive it through the Hex. However, instead of gliding through like they said she would, she gets stuck. The vehicle then starts to transform and convert to a normal car, and she gets out right before the car is flipped out of the Hex, and you see that one half is the rover, another half is just a normal car. So the Hex was actually trying to convert it and change it to match the setting inside the actual Hex. Monica then gets the idea that she can't make it through in a vehicle, so she's going to decide to run in and breach the Hex perimeter herself. So this will then be the third time that she passes through this Hex perimeter, and as a result of that, her DNA then gets rewritten again. You then see that her eyes change, she's got this glowing power, and she's becoming Photon from the comics. In the comics, she can actually see and manipulate energy, which is why in her vision, she actually sees the power lines in a very, very different way. Her vision's kind of changing when her eyes change color. Also, when she takes that astronaut spacesuit off, she's wearing clothes that are very, very close to her comic superhero costume. Now, Monica confronts Wanda, and Wanda cracks the shit, saying that she needs to get out, needs to leave her alone, and blah, blah, blah. But then Agatha is watching from the window. Wanda picks Monica up and throws her down, but given that she has new powers now, Monica's able to sort of stop herself. Agatha then steps in at the last minute and tells Wanda it's okay, tells Monica she needs to go. Monica's trying to reveal the truth to her, and obviously Agatha does not want that, so Agatha tries to get her away. Agatha, or Agnes, I'm using these interchangeably now. She's revealed herself to be Agatha Harkness, which we all knew. She had the brooch, she's another witch. I don't know. I don't know who would be surprised at that by now, but we could tell that she wasn't the person who she said she was. She was revealed to be Agatha Harkness, who is a witch in the comics. The twins are gone, and as I said, that's kind of like a Hansel and Gretel type thing, where the kids just disappear. And anyway, so Wanda goes down into Agnes's or Agatha's basement, and it's like this dungeon. But you see all these different things that a witch would have. So you see the skulls of the cabinets, and you see what I'm assuming to be a spell book. I need to look more into that. I'm not sure what that is, but there seems to be a spell book in there. Agnes comes in and says that Wanda isn't the only magical person in the world, and that her name is actually Agatha Harkness, which if you take AG from Agatha and Ness from Harkness, you get Agnes, which is the name that she was going by. A song then plays that says Agatha has been messing up everything all along, and then you get little flashback to scenes that we've seen from each episode where you see Agnes's or Agatha's interference with certain situations that have gone wrong. The song says that it's too late to fix anything now that it's been going on for too long, and she also reveals that she killed Sparky, which I think also happened in the comics. So look, I'm not sure if anyone was actually surprised that Agnes wasn't Agnes, or that she wasn't who she said she was. I don't think anyone was really surprised by that, because even Vision caught on that she wasn't who she said she was. So look, it's great that it's finally revealed, and it's going to be very interesting to see where they go from here now that her cards are on the table. But yeah, it definitely was an eventful episode. Wasn't really, cliffhanger type stuff if you kind of knew what was coming. I love how Monica is now getting her powers and turning into Photon. I really hope they give her own movie in the MCU. I think she really deserves that, or even her own show. I think that'd be great. But I'm really excited to see how it ends. Obviously, this all has to come to an end. I'm not sure whether Wanda following through with the House of M storyline, where she'll become, the villain. Maybe she'll be the villain in Doctor Strange 2, I'm not sure. But she did kind of hint to that on her altercation with Monica. Monica said to Wanda, don't let Hayward turn you into the villain. And Wanda came back and said, maybe I already am. So I'm not sure if they actually are going down that way where Doctor Strange has to come in and that might be the cameo at the end. I'm not sure. So let me know your thoughts down below. I don't think they'll go down that way. Wanda's too loved and all that sort of stuff. So I think they'll probably wrap it up in a nice little bow at the very end. But yeah, guys, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Let me know what your theories are. Let me know who you think will be the cameo at the end of the last episode. And let me know all your theories down below. Again, if you like the video, please give it a like and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, bye.